dear Professor Parent and my dear classmates. I'm Li Jing. It's my great honor to be here to share the paper I have read. The title is Synonyms Discrimination in English Learner Dictionaries on the basis of frame semantics, the case of desiderative verbs. The content includes 5 parts. They are introduction, literature review, methodology, results and discussion, and conclusion. Part 1, Introduction. The research target. This research targets want, wish, and hope. These 3 desiderative verbs and the keywords include desiderative verbs, frame semantics, Cooper's Dictionary, and MDDT. And the research background. Chinese English learners use the desiderative verbs differently from native speakers, and Chinese English learners are not so familiar with the usage and differences of those commonly used desiderative verbs. Besides, there's a lack of semantic features, as well as the examples fail to illustrate the context of features. And the research objectives include 2 aspects. They are helping EFL learners distinguish desiderative verbs effectively by means of dictionaries, and the other one is to improve the representation of synonyms on the basis of frame semantics. The research question covers 4 ones. Number 1, what is the difference in usage of desiderative verbs between native speakers and Chinese learners? Number 2, how to clarify the difference among desiderative verbs based on frame semantics. And number 3, what are the deficiencies in discriminating desiderative verbs in learners' dictionaries? And the last one, how to improve the representation of these synonyms in learners' dictionary. The significance lies in discriminating synonyms in learners' dictionaries, and it will offer an appropriate word for an appropriate context. And the last one, it offers an effective approach to enhance learning efficiency for EFL learners. Now let's come to part 2, literature review. Specifically, 3 aspects are mentioned in this part: research on synonyms discrimination, corpus-based research on synonyms discrimination, and relevant studies on desiderative verbs. So first, let's look at referential theory and synonyms discrimination. The referential theory meaning derives from the language being attached or grounded in reality. Besides, Hou Yingnan in 2011 represents the relation of the sameness, but there is no semantic difference which exists between synonyms. Yet it is contrary to the truth. For example, the morning star and the evening star, they have different senses. Another scholar mentions a word does not stand for the entity itself, but it adds people's understanding of the real world. Referential theory refers to the real world and mental representation. Besides, the components are evolved, so componential analysis can be employed to explain lexical relations, but it doesn't cover the whole lexicon. Semantic field and synonyms discrimination covers these 6 scholars. So the first one organized into areas of or fields. Then Palmer advocates the meaning of the word is decided by the relation with other words in the same semantic field. And Zhang Jie in 2009 advocates four aspects, including conceptual meaning, emotional coloring, stylistic coloring, and collocation. Zhang Jianli in 2000, he introduced the difference among synonyms, such as small is opposite to big and little is opposite or contrary to much. Besides, there are three other scholars. They just introduces existing sources and hierarchy in structure and meaning and variability, as well as common meaning, respectively. And for the frame semantics, it refers to the complement of traditional semantic studies and semantic phenomenon. So this thesis will adopt this one, frame semantics, as the theoretical foundation. It will cover semantic collocation, word frequency collocation, and semantic prosody. Case studies and comprehensive studies on desiderative verbs are analyzed in the past. Now let's talk about methodology. First, we have to mention the two corpora. The first one is CLEC, and the other one is BNC. CLEC means involves the five examinations, including ST2, ST3, etc., and covering the middle school students. CET and CET4 and CET6 refers to the national examinations were official for the non-English major students as well as the English major students with lower grades and higher grades. The BNC, the British here, sorry,